to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never watched any of our videos, I want to humbly request you to grab a seat and make sure you don't miss this video. And let me start by saying that if this country will not think about changing guard or giving Kenya Kwanza just this one term, then I can tell you, if Ruto gets to work for 10 years, we'll not have a country here in 2032. Because what I'm going to show you here is mind-blowing. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Can you imagine that someone walked to Treasury and withdrew 1.3 trillion to go and pay debts in cash? The debt, our national budget is 3.6 trillion. Out of that, 1.3 trillion was withdrawn in the last 7 months that allegedly was going to pay for debts and pensions and other expenditures. But the controller of budget is saying there is no evidence that the money that was withdrawn is actually went for the intended purpose. Sometimes you want to give the president the benefit of doubt, but some of these stories are very annoying, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to get to that detail. But before that, help us first build a house for these elderly, vulnerable members of this community in Kakamega. And I want to humbly request you that partner with us. From next week on Tuesday, we will pitch tent, my team will pitch tent in Kakamega to build 3 houses for these elderly men and women there, and also some are disabled. So we're also working at a budget of ensuring we also buy them wheelchairs. It is possible. And I want to say thank you that I started this. This is day 1. I started yesterday afternoon. I've already managed to get 36,740. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kidogo kidogo jeza kibaba. This is our 30th project since we started charity programs in 2022. We believe, I believe, and members of this channel, we believe it is possible that we are also part of the solution. The situation is very agonizing. Some of those houses ukiona kama hiyo ya nyasi, I'm told it's even falling by some other side, na kukinyesha, the whole that thing leaks. There is that other lady who is seated, that other granny who is seated on, I think the very first photo you are seeing there. You will realize that is actually disabled. That's what we've been told. Plus the gentleman you are seeing there. So we plan that we are going to be a blessing for them in this month of February, in this month of March. We are going to build for them a house. I know whatever kidogo, itanunua msumari, itanunua kidirisha, itanunua mabati, and we will work with that community to ensure that we transform the lives of those elderly disabled women there. And let me say thank you, and let's continue supporting. For those who are already responding, I want to say thank you. And we believe that throughout the week, we'll be able to achieve the ambition. Now, I want to show you this article, and I want you to take a minute and listen, look at this article. This article is talking about Treasury shocker. 1.3 trillion cash withdrawn in 7 months. You'll want to know, an article by Samuel Owino in the Nation is saying, a confidential report by the Controller of Budget, or let me start here. The national and county governments manually requested withdrawal of 1.3 trillion in just 7 months in February to February 2025 to pay debt, pensions, and other recurrent expenditures, bypassing the automated financial system that is meant for transparency. This is what it says. A confidential report by the Controller Budget Office to the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly shows that the manual cash requisitions were made between July 12th and February 20th, 2025. Margaret Nyakango, the Controller Budget, is saying the public debt requisitions done manually formed the bulk of amounts withdrawn using manual, as opposed to the automated system, means with 893.97 billion off the system. And remember, the amount all the votes have manual requests for cash from the Controller of Budget, but the report does not say whether the money was used for the intended purpose. Payments are done by the accounting officers in the case should answer the questions why payments were done off the system. Now, ordinarily, and not even ordinarily, by law, PFM Act 2012, Public Finance Management Act 2012, says that all the transmission and requisitions from the national or from the consolidated fund, from the exchequer, even to pay debts, which is the public debt, the debt fund, or equalization fund, ile pesa inaenda kwa the poor areas, or county disbursements, must be done electronically. So this one is even a breach of the PFM Act 2012. The whole thing is even a breach of the PFM Act 2012. And BAD is saying that debts needs to be paid through the system. A question that seems not to get an answer. If we are paying debts, there is no evidence. The Controller of Budget is saying that all receipts that have been taken, that it went into the intended purpose. But questions are emerging. If we are paying debts either locally or foreign debts, is there need kwenda kutoa pesa in cash, nipe cash niende nilipe deni? Can you go and pay Eurobond in cash? Question. Or I want to pay recurrent in salary to workers. Can salary be paid in cash? Come on. Can we pay salaries in cash? Or we want to pay pension. For those, we have senior members of this channel who are getting pension. Is there a way you line up and you're paid pension, government pays you pension in cash, or the money hits your account and then it's you now to go and withdraw the money from your account? Why did the whole thing, and judiciary fund, county government disbursement, public debts, and other equalization fund, all these withdrawals, how is it a coincidence that accounting officers of those respective institutions demanded that they withdraw the money in cash? Was there a system glitch? Or let me say, was there a system problem? And if it is a system problem, can the system problem be there for all the whole 7 months? Remember, the exchequer is paid. The exchequer system is automated. Exchequer process is taxpayers' money used to maintain, to acquire it, and to pay for it. Then why is it that someone demanded to go and withdraw money in cash? Suspicious, dubious, and of course, a big fraud. Let me tell you, if you want to know we are in a circus, and it is the country to liberate itself from this circus today, the president attended a church service in Kasarani, and to the shock of the congregants, I saw people clapping and praising the president because he donated 120 million. A day after he donated another 20 million in Baringo. Yesterday, the president was in Baringo. The president donated 20 million for building some dining hall. Today, he was again in Roysambu, 120 million for church construction. Listen to this.
Mbali na ile yote tumesema, mbali na kupatiana title deed, mbali na kusema wanajeshi wasimame kando, mbali na kutengeneza barabara, si ndio? Mimi mwenyewe nitatoa milioni 20 kwanza. Ndio. Sawa sawa. Basi mtaanza kupanga hiyo maneno wakati unasemekana mnajenga. Alafu mimi nimekubali pia nitakuja tufanye harambee pamoja. Sawa, Jesus winner. Na hiyo harambee nataka mnisikize vizuri. Si ndio? Nataka mnisikize vizuri. Na kwa hiyo harambee vile huyu Kororia amesema. Huyu Kororia alisema hapa, ako wapi huyo Kororia huyu? Alisema hapa iwekwe polling station hapa ndio msichanganywe na watu wengine, ijulikane nani amesimama wapi. Na mimi kwa hiyo mchango ya kanisa hata mimi nataka nipatiwe polling station yangu. Nipangane, ndio? Niende nipangane mimi na marafiki zangu. Nasikia Bishop? Niende nipangane mimi na marafiki zangu tutafute milioni 100 tulete. Asanteni sana. Asanteni.
And you can see gullible Kenyans clapping. I'm not saying it is bad to give to church. That is not it. But I'm speaking in the context of the level, the amount of money coming from the president's pocket. I'm speaking in the context of that amount of money coming from the president's pocket. When all this is happening, can I tell you that NEC paid teachers, well, when you remark KCSE last year, they were paid last week. Someone was sitting on that money. As we talk, the big problem in SHA is out of 18 million people that have registered for SHA, only 4 million are paying. 14 million are not paying. So the salaried fellows that are paying for NHIF are perceived to be the one to cater for the health needs of the country, and it can't be possible. So what is supposed to happen? The government is supposed to pump money in SHA. And as we talk, private hospitals are shying away from treating teachers and policemen because the money, the insurance money that is supposed to be sent to them has not been paid. Someone withdraws money allegedly to pay debts, while NHIF owes private hospitals 30 billion. And that is why private hospitals cannot work under SHA. They are actually disassociating with SHA. Ukienda private hospital, lipa ni kutibe. Kama una pesa, go to Kenyatta. What are we doing to ourselves? And I want to tell you, we see Kenyans clapping. The folks are milking this country mercilessly. They have no breaks. They don't care. And in fact, this issue of debt payment is the biggest scandal. I listened to some people saying, I listened to Ichung'wa speaking in that Al Jazeera interview saying that no single major scandal has been reported in Kenya Kwanza. This is the scandal. This is the scandal. And the reason why you need to be very careful, look at Listen to, there is something I saw. There is a video I saw of Ichung'wa carrying cash, giving some people in some event in Kiambu.
1 million shillings. Haya. Leo desi ya boka wa Ruto. Kana lamdonyi. Kana kemanike manogo. Weda ile kutaneto inai. Kemanike manogo. Maimavero. Weda ile tu. Leo wa 1 million shillings.
Yes. The country will even believe. You know, for long, when Rigathi speaks, we are tempted to personally, I need to be honest. I'm not really tempted to dismiss Rigathi because I understand that he's also very angry with the fact that he was impeached. I am normally tempted to dismiss Rigathi. But sometimes when you read and when you look at such articles and read that headline, you believe when Rigathi says money is being stashed in some current residence.
Ile tu ningetaka just to tell the people of Kenya, hakuna development itaendelea. Ile uliona era in budget juzi ya 76 billion, hiyo ilikuwa ni pesa ya kuhonga wa Kenya. Pale Karen kwa ile mtu ya Mr. Yesa, iko container ya 40 feet imejazwa pesa hapo. Iko ingine hapa State House dollars. Sasa kazi yao ni kuhonga viongozi. Lakini tuambia wa Kenya, hatuwezi kumwambia msichukue pesa. Mungu na haja na pesa. Pesa mchukue. Na pale Karen imewekwa figure. Ndio usikize uongo ni shilingi 5,000. Ya kusikiza nini? Sasa watu wamerefuka pale. Si wamejua ni uongo, wakifika pale wakiongeleshwa tu wazo wanasema maliza haraka utupatie pesa tufanye nini? Sasa tunataka kuambia wa Kenya, you cannot listen to lies for 5 hours. At 1,000 per hour to listen to lies. Tunataka tusikizane rates ya kusikiza uongo. Si tusikizane rates ya kusikiza uongo. Kwa sababu hii uongo ni mingi sana. Mnadanganywa barabara itajengwa na ni uongo tu, lakini mnawekwa masaa. So tunataka kuambia wewe Mr. Yesa, weka rate ya 2 hours. 2 hours 5,000. Udanganye watu for 2 hours, uwapatie 5,000 wafanya nini? Ukipitisha 2 hours, mnasimama mnasema pesa ifanye nini? Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana. Sasa.
And that is what God is saying. So we are in some quagmire. I don't know whether I'm using the right word, but we are in some sort of a mess. And I don't know whether we'll be able to liberate ourselves from that, because the country is taking a different turn. There is something that Wanjigi said, and if you think what we are talking about, this is just hearsay, it is important to listen to a statement that Wanjigi made during Martha Karua's event. Wanjigi said something about debts, and he said that even if Rigathi, Kalonzo and Karua camp forms next government, if the question of debt is not answered, odious debts is not answered, they will actually suffer the same fate William Ruto is suffering.
The budget that Senator Onyonka is talking about, 4.2 trillion, ambao iko kwa bunge saa hii, 3.2 trillion ni recurrent expenditure. Si ya development, ni ya kukula. Na ukiangalia hiyo 2.2 inaenda kulipa madeni. 2.2 inaenda kulipa madeni. 400 is needed for operations za serikali. 500, 600 ya salaries. Unakuja sasa kwa madeni, because we will not get more than 2.8 trillion revenue. Uingia kwa madeni, you're borrowing for counties. You're borrowing for the little development you can do, which you cannot do. So hata tukiwa hapa, tukisema tutatoa ushuru ni sawa. Tutalipa deni namna gani? Na deni ni 70% ya fedha zetu. 70%. na itakuwa hivyo mpaka 2036. Mwaka huu 1.9 trillion deni. The next financial year 2.2 trillion deni. The next financial year 2.4 trillion deni. If we do not understand hiyo deni ilikuwa ya nini, and that we are going to solve that problem, hata sisi tukiingia kwa hiyo kiti ya urais, tukiingia in 3 months mtakuwa nasema tuondoke hata sisi tuwe kama Kasongo. So we must be united on solving the problem, the real problem of this country. Not just to say we are united. There were people who were united before they told us freedom was coming. Iko wapi? Iko wapi? Ilikuja. And today they are here with us because they were cheated. Because they were cheated. There were others who were told, like my dear sister, that there is a liberation coming from Raila Amolo Odinga. Leo Raila ako wapi? Na ni rafiki yangu, ako wapi?
And I think if there is one person that understands the magnitude of the debt issue in this country, and the only person that is normally so vocal and a bit more informed about it is Wanjigi. He's been so consistent. Even in 2023, he was talking about and was warning that we have a debt problem. We're withdrawing money that we're going to pay debts, and we are not paying debts. We are just eating that money. And so bad, we are so shamelessly eating that money under the guise of paying debts, while our children, capitation is a problem. While there is a big conundrum on what is happening in the public health. Now, there is an article by Standard I want to, and let's ask ourselves a simple question. Hii deni tunalipa. Why are we withdrawing? The PFM Act is very clear. The money need to be paid electronically. In fact, if someone should take me to Parliament, the first thing I will petition, I will actually bring an amendment that whenever we pay debt, we should make it public. If you cannot make the debt register public, we know how much we owe who and who. The country owes which bank or who, which country. But we should also make that payment public. That the same way tunalipanga capitation, then Mbadi will come to call press briefing and say, you know, I've paid half of the capitation and this amount is going to junior secondary school. The same thing should be done when we pay debts. Because this is one of the things that is actually consuming almost 60% of our money. 70% of our revenue, of the ordinary revenue, goes into paying debt. And whenever we pay, we don't make it public. We say, oh, the country is stable. But in real sense, why are we paying debts in cash? Yes. Why are you paying? Kwani hii pesa ni mtu amekopa kwa nyumba yake, tunatoa kwa treasury tunampelekea kwa nyumba yake. Why are we paying money in cash? And that means that we're not so honest about that discussion. Look, go with me to Standard. Oh, if you can get Standard newspaper, I'll take you to page number 6. Master of Destruction. This article is there. How Ruto shifts focus from scandals and crisis. And this is what that article is saying. In the two short years of President William Ruto has been in office, he has emerged as the master of subterfuge, adept at creating smoke screens to distract Kenyans from concentrating on myriad scandals and crises that have plagued his administration. He continues to say, some of the scandals are so huge that ordinarily they have the capacity to bring down the government. And the crises and scandals are so many, scattered in all major sectors: health, education, security, transport, and diplomacy. The head of the state has perfected the art of generating bombshells that keep the public talking even as life-changing events are taking place around them unnoticed. And what the Standard is talking about is clearly, now as we talk, for the last 3 months, the country was talking about Raila Odinga as AU. In fact, last year it was about Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. And I've been saying that get Gachagua impeachment was not a priority. In fact, haikuwa shida. Someone said, you know, we are chasing him because he's tribal, because of shareholding. We keep on saying, I keep on saying here, that is not a Kenyan problem. No leader is not tribal. Number two, Kenyans are not divided. The leadership is just creating a problem that doesn't exist. No one has killed the other because the other is tribe A. Tribalism is not even a problem we have as we speak now. We only become tribal when we get to elections because politicians want to mobilize across the ethnic lines. When there's no tribe, when you go to offices, you'll get all the tribes. Now, me, I'm going to build houses in Kakamega. I'm born in Siaya. Why am I not building in Siaya? I'm going to build in Kakamega. We're going to build 3 houses in Kakamega. Those contributing, are they even talking about tribes? All the 47 people, tribes in the country are contributing towards that cause. So, there's another bombshell of we are impeaching Rigathi. Oh, Raila is going to meet Ruto next week. Then we pay some money, Raila, to make some very fraud movements from one country to the other that are consulting. Consulting what? As if Ruto meeting Raila is an agenda for this country. It's not an agenda for this country. The agenda for this country is about these things. I want one day that the president rises and say, those who withdrew 1.3 trillion from treasury, they are going to pay debt. It is against the Public PFM Act of 2012 and they should be arrested. And the next day we see these people getting arrested. That is what we should be talking about. But this is what the Standard is talking. That the president generates bombshells. I can tell you, after this handshake, the next one is appointing some people in cabinet. Then people start thinking, oh, sasa ni ile. You know, the next one is launching a new political party. The next one, we just rolling is just to control your mind. And that is what Standard is talking about. It is not a coincidence, and it is not a coincidence that all these withdrawals were done in cash by all the accounting officers. I'm seeing some four interpretations of this story. It is either Ruto has lost control of the system, but I doubt these things are happening under his watch. These things are happening under his watch. And I saw, at one point, I saw the former financiers, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, complaining about these transactions. I'm yet to see Mbadi, who came from the opposition benches, raising an alarm about these illegalities. I'm yet to see Mbadi raising an alarm about these illegalities. If you will be in opposition, you will be the ones the most vocal about them. He's now in the seat and these things are happening. What does it tell you? That the things are designed that way. In fact, this confirms that the reason why Raila is joining William Ruto is because of this money outpouring. Kuna pipe inamwaga maji, inamwaga pesa. It has nothing to do with the things he's talking about. In fact, the odious debts are actually money going to people's pockets. If you cannot tell Kenyans, if we must withdraw money in cash to pay debts and pay pension, then clearly we have a lot of ghost debts and ghost pensions we are paying. Ghost debts and ghost pensions. That is why we are doing it. Are we taking money to people's houses? In fact, Ndindi Nyoro and Kang'ata, they don't have any magic. If the leadership can use the taxpayers' money well, this country will be where it needs to be. But if we still continue this way, we have no way. In fact, I'm saying the country should not fear of changing guard. You can change guard. Yes, it's not bad. You can change. The country should not fear of changing William Ruto and bringing someone else. We should normalize giving them one term so that the political leadership can have at least some lesson.